Hi everybody, we are Mike and Brenda Baker, and today we are talking about 3 reasons why marriage should be treated like a business.
Okay, so why marriage should be treated like a business. Now look, the whole idea behind this session is just to strip away the emotion and show the basic structure of the marriage in your house. Okay, so a lot of people, you may or may not, you may have a business, you may not have ever had a business. And the different business types, they have S corps, they have C corps, they have LLCs, they have LLPs, they have sole proprietorships, and each one of those business types carries with it a different amount or a different tax strategy, a different liability factor. Some are built specifically for partnerships, some are built specifically for just individuals owning. And so, to understand what we're talking about today, that's really all you need to understand, I mean, you can get into the C Corps are traded on the stock market, whereas S Corps are just a smaller version that is not traded on the stock market. But what I want to talk about today is an LLP. Okay, A lot of people know the term LLC, which is limited liability corporation, but I want to talk about LLPs, which are limited liability partnership. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of it. What I want to tell you is that your marriage is like an LLP, a limited liability partnership, which means you guys have agreed to share liability within the relationship.
And we want to be clear that we are not talking about signing prenups. We're not talking about not being with each other, in a loving way.
Prenups, waste of time. I will say that. All right. If you have a prenup, if you have a prenup, tear it up, because that's nothing but a contract for failure.
Yeah.
That's a side note. That's a freebie today.
But those are not the things.
No, that was me. I'm not speaking for us. Me.
Those are
waste
not
of time.
The things that we're talking about today.
Anyway,
we're just deconstructing the relationship that you have together in the marriage. And we have actually developed a tool that's going to help you a ton with that we're going to talk about later.
Right. So now, the different business types. Now, for one, as a side note, this is not business advice, okay?
No.
This is remarriage / marriage advice. We're just using business as an example. Now, every marriage works like an LLP, where it's limited liability partnership, okay? You each agree to take on a certain level of the liability, and between the two of you, that liability adds up to 100%, but you guys got to agree on what it is. I'll tell you what you can do is try to have a regular partnership, a regular business LLP, and don't pay your partner. And let me know how that goes for you, all right? For those of you who are more religiously minded, a lot of people view God as their business partner in their daily walk. Don't pay your partner. Find out how that goes for you, okay? So that kind of gives some of you more spiritually minded people an idea as well. So the whole idea here is business plan, all right, which is number 2 here. Every successful business, most successful smaller mom and pop type businesses need a business plan. And what that business plan says is that 5 years we're going to be here, and in 10 years we're going to be here. And this is what we're going to do year by year, and these are the responsibilities of the business. Every marriage has a business plan. Every remarriage has a very different business plan. So when you're thinking of it in terms of remarriage, you need to think of it in terms of, we have our marriage contract and we have our remarriage contract. Okay? The marriage contract are those marital items that hit no matter who you are, because there are certain things in marriage, communication and things like that are a standard amongst, doesn't matter the married or the remarried. There are very different dynamics in the remarriage that need to be part of your business plan, that you guys need to sit down and just straight up, like a limited liability partnership, and agree, I've got your back on this, you've got my back on this.
Now, the reason that we are relating this to a business, Mike talked about this a little bit, but I'm going to go kind of a little bit further maybe, is that we see a lot of couples come into it just winging it. Winging it is not going to do it in your remarriage, because we have so much more baggage in remarriage than we did in our first marriage. Typically speaking, you get married and you don't have kids yet. I know that trend is kind of changing, but so But even when people are married for the first time and they start out bam with a kid, there are things that are going to happen that wouldn't happen with a couple that is learning about each other for the first year or 2 years or whatever they decide. Okay, so in remarriage, though, it's even night and day from even a couple that's on their first marriage who got married with a child. It's very, very important to know exactly what you expect of your spouse and what they expect of you and what you expect of you. Okay, and so that's exactly, can we move on into the third point here?
No, not quite yet.
Not yet, okay.
So let me reiterate on the try not to pay your business partner. When I say that, the way that it applies within the remarriage, because that might be confusing for you, is what are you doing to make sure that your spouse is getting what they should be getting out of the relationship too? Okay, because I got news for you. It is not all about what your spouse is doing for you. It is equally about what you are doing for your spouse. All right. All right, let me be straight up, okay? A lot of people think I'm a type A personality. I'm not. All right? I don't like conflict. I've learned to deal with it if I have to, but I will avoid it. But at the same time, Brenda is the one who is a type A personality. A lot of times they get that backwards. But why do they get it backwards? Because when they see us together, they see Brenda trying to serve me. And it's not because I'm like cracking the whip. Give me a sandwich, woman. I'm not talking about that. It's because I've earned her respect and she wants to serve me. Now, do I want that? Well, sure, on some level I want that, but I also want to serve her. She knows that I will drop whatever I'm doing to do whatever she needs me to do.
Yep, 100%.
All right? Now, that doesn't mean I smile every time I do it,
That's
but she knows.
True. You do a great job.
I do it begrudgingly sometimes if it's something I don't think needs to be
Well, I
done.
don't notice.
So anyway, but because of that, she will serve me. So it gives the impression to a lot of people that Mike, because I'm straightforward, is just this type A personality, when in truth, through our relationship, I have earned the respect of my type A to want to serve me and not turn her type A at me, if that makes sense. So now we can go. So my whole point there is it's 100-100. It is not 50-50. Just toss that 50-50 crap right out the window. It's 100-100, and then you give another 10. Okay?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Exactly. And I want to be clear that Mike doesn't bark orders at me and I just go and do things. I do things for him because, number one, I know he likes certain things. And I want to do anything I can to make his life better and easier. Because I love him so much. And yes, he has 100% of my respect. I get a little grumpy with him sometimes, but who doesn't? I mean, that's part of marriage, is learning how to deal with the things that annoy you about each other. I mean, after 25 years, there's a couple of things that annoy me about him and him about me. He probably has more though.
Oh, I don't know.
But anyways.
Anyway, why don't you go into the tool?
Okay, so the tool that we have created is specifically designed, like I said, to show you in written form and show your spouse in written form what you expect of them, what you expect of yourself, in 3 of the biggest areas that we have seen problems with the remarried. Now, this is a Google Doc, and so we ask that you and your spouse both do it. We don't see your results. This is 100% just for you. However, make sure that you make a copy before you start filling it out, okay? Google is free. The Google Docs is free as long as you have enough space, and it will be a great tool for you to be able to go through, write out all your answers to the questions, and then compare them. From that point, you can definitely work on setting goals for yourself and as a couple so that you can push yourselves forward in your marriage.
Now, these are very unique questions, all right? They may seem pretty simple to you, but the first rule is you have to be completely honest, all right? You're not trying to save feelings on this one, all right?
Yeah.
Number 2, you can't be the hurt feeling person, all right? So number 1, have a thick enough skin to be, or love your spouse enough to be completely honest. And number 2, have a thick enough skin to take some criticism, okay? Because the tool isn't put together to divide you. The tool is to help bring things into conversation that we have found just flat do not come up in conversation, will be avoided at all costs, and those couples fall apart, all right? So if you can make it through this form, that is a step in the right direction, okay? And if you have a problem with the Google Doc, by the way, just drop a line. We're happy to either help you ourselves or get some help up there that you can see.
Right. And the whole thing is to make sure that you're not assuming that your spouse knows what you want and what you want of yourself.
Right.
It'll help you guys to hold each other accountable, stick to your goals, and stay in your lane. So please use the tool. It's going to help you so much.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if we would have had this tool in our younger years, things would have probably gone a little better. We've always had a great marriage, but there's been some ugly stuff that has happened with the outside people. and that's been hard on our marriage a couple of different times. And so some of the things were assumed. And so we want you to be on the right foot and move forward as quickly as possible.
Correct.
So that's all we have for today. We thank you so very much. Make sure you go to that tool down. I'll have it linked down below. Make a copy before you start filling it out. Otherwise, I will see your answers. And if we can do anything for you, please leave a comment below or message us directly. You can find us on social media. It's all down below. We hope that you're having a wonderful day, and thank you so very much for being with us today. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.